Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to my tutorial series on how to play Fortnite Save the World. And in today's episode, we are going to take on Homebase Storm Shield Defense number 6. And then upon completion of it, we'll unlock our Core of Engineering portion of our Survivor Squads, a rare trap schematic, and then as always, our X-ray tickets and V-Bucks, because we actually have a Founders account for this series. But nonetheless, let me go ahead and load in, and then I will guide you through step by step on how to build, trap, and then defend your defense. Okay, we find ourselves now within our Homebase Storm Shield. And as a continuation of this series, and as I have promoted throughout, we will only utilize the uncommon wooden floor spikes and the uncommon wall darts and ceiling gas trap throughout all 10 defenses. And you can actually build and trap with these 3 items and these 3 items alone and clear all 10 of your Stonewood Storm Shields without taking a single shot with a handheld weapon and or using an ability or defender. And we will continue with these 3 traps as I want to make it relatable. I want to not only prove that it can be done, but also want to show you do not need additional traps or overpowered items in this game to be successful. So let's go ahead and start by crafting some. And we will have them at level 10 now because that's what we are allowed to have at this point in our journey. And I'm just going to make a few of what we've got and go from this point. Now we're going to go ahead and work our way over to our drop amp now. And this will be out to the southwest from our home base amplifier. And we're going to go ahead and drop this down now. And or install it. And as I have pointed out in previous episodes, the enemies are trying to attack this box right here. Now, once you drop this amplifier, you will no longer receive attacks when it comes to your dip amp over here from the west. And when it comes to your west side amplifier out over here, as mentioned, to the west, you should not receive any additional attacks from the south direction on that. So if you want to go through and break this all down, on both of these directions and repurpose that material, I would highly recommend it. All right, and we've actually done it here, but I've just left it here. But anyways, our attacks from this drop amp will come from the south and the west directions. So we're going to go ahead and begin playing off of our previous build now when it came to the west side amplifier for the west attack. And we're just going to build right over here in this section. Now, I do want to point out a couple of things. Enemies initially will be able to work their way up and around through here to attack the amplifier. And again, their goal is to try and get to this area right here. So because of that, and when it comes to the amp, I'm going to begin by placing darts here, here, and out over here, just in case anything were to leak in from the west side. Now, materials that I will be utilizing, for the most part, you really do want to have metal for the most part when you can. But if for some reason you are light against natural terrain, I have no problem with stone, like we're showing here. But then after that, I would still go with metal. Is kind of important there. I do want to point it out. All right. So anyway, from the natural terrain, and I'm just going to build across here for a minute, just for a marker for you. So from edge to the front here. All right. You want to start with your block off. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to angle this block off, as you can see here, facing to the southwest. And in the areas that are covered by the storm, bubble still, we're going to leave those be for a moment. We won't worry about upgrading those. Again, if you cannot upgrade all of the builds to the same tier, I recommend just tier 1. Again, you do not want to upgrade higher tier outside and leave lower tier inside, because it can actually cause a situation where the enemies can aggro on you. So for now, we'll leave that be. Now, anything outside the bubble, though, we'll go ahead and take care of. And again, if you want to go ahead and repurpose, there's nothing wrong with building stone against natural terrain. All right, if for some reason you're light. And then because I will potentially go ahead and utilize this area up here, as a reminder, anything that you break down before the storm shield begins is gone forever. So please be mindful of that if you are breaking things down. All right. So this is where we'd be. I'll leave that block off for now. And then we'll work through and upgrade.
Yeah, not possible.
Now, if you can reach it like this, which we can, then we'll go in. And it looks like we can reach it. So we're going to go for it. All right. And again, we'll just make sure everything is good to go. Let's grab a bit of metal for our build. Apologies, friends. Should have had that ready for you guys. But we'll go ahead and grab again anyway. All right. And then you are going to be using, basically, you know, metal is always my recommendation. However, you can use stone and wood. Just follow that rule of having everything at the same tier. It's just very important there when we look at it. And then anything else in metal, like I said, like this. Okay. And everything, as you can see now, is tiered up and ready to rock and roll. Now, what I like to do when I'm building, I treat it as if it's anatomy. And I think I've mentioned it before in the series, right? I will have one vein leading from this direction, and then one from this direction, and then they both meet and lead to the heart, which would be your amplifier. So we have our middle section piece right here. All right, so basically what I will do is I'm going to go ahead and do some block off here, facing out and toward the west direction. And same kind of thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to back, believe it or not, with these block offs now. I want 2 of them facing in that direction. All right, just like you're seeing here. Then out through here, I'm going to go ahead with our ceilings. And believe it or not, I'm going to leave this be here, and we'll work into it. And I'm going to get back to that in a moment, because they are going to wrap around and potentially work through both areas.
Yeah, not possible. Nope.
Now, because we're utilizing only the 3 traps, right, I'm going to go ahead and seal all this down. But if you were utilizing, you know, things like the electric field, the wall dynamos, it could play in here a little bit better. You could open this up and actually do something different. But we'll focus on just the 3 traps once again to make it relatable for all. It does take us a little bit of time to upgrade when you're newer. We'll get there. Please be methodical here to not miss any of your builds. Now, again, if I'm connecting a base per se, maybe I want to slide my base up here, then you would want to make sure you are extending down so it all connects. But what we'll do here is we're going to, after I get this upgraded and sealed down, that is,
Not possible.
see how this little tile right here? I want to make sure on it now. There it goes. All right, then we just seal it down, full block off. That's a floor, an edited pyramid, or reverse 45. 4 walls around and a ceiling. That's a full block off. If you're missing any of that, then it's a partial. All right. And then everything is here and connected right now. All right. We may use base over here. I haven't decided yet. Now, which I recommend that you do is usually if you were going to place base, all right, I would recommend that you place it over the top of a block off section. And we're going to mark it with tier 2 stone. All right. Never on the main pathing of where the husks are going to attack, because they can stop here and start trying to work up on the base. For example, if you have, and we're going to go to this loadout for a moment, right? Heavy base or feel the base. Believe it or not, enemies like to get interested in that for some reason. And they'll actually stop. Like blasters will pound the ceiling here. Enemies will pitch at it. It's strange, but with that particular construct in the game, they like to act a little silly.
Whoa, sorry.
All right, so just a standard build right here as you are seeing. And then if you can now, and it's going to be interesting, but if you could slide darts there, that'd be great. We're just not able to do that right now. All right, so this would be the beginning portion of our tunnel.
Yeah, not
Now through here, I'm going to go ahead and open and extend 1/3 walls. The opening. That way we get full effect. We make sure. Now here you're going to have it anyway, most likely, but it's just something I like to do. That way they make sure to trigger the light on the dart. They don't try to cut the traps in the corners. They try to do that in this game. All right, we don't want that to occur. Also, remember when you are building in Save the World, it's a good idea to have that Baron that I've recommended to you. That's the first weapon I recommend in Save the World with Epic Flux that you get for the movement speed, that utility. All right. And then this is pretty much what we have at the beginning of the tunnel. And then make sure everything is tier 3 again. And then we're going to work our way back into these 3 tiles just like this here. So we'll have walls here and here. 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 Ceiling. Ceiling.
okay.
Edited pyramid facing to the west. And then this finisher that I like to do at the very end of my tunnels. We'll have our ceiling here. And then your dart is shooting across 1, 2, into the 3 this way. All right. If you are worried at all whatsoever about areas back here, for instance, you can do 2 block offs. All right. One facing to the southwest. Right here. Full block off. Just a little extra material for some extra security. Is it required? Most likely not. But again, we're never here to rush with this series or my content. I really like to slow it down, dot the I's, cross the T's. We're not cutting corners. I'm a big believer in Save the World that if you do not cut corners, like in most things in life in general, honestly, overall, you will find quite a bit more success in the game, more routinely. All right, so again, storage. Gives you an idea, too, how much material we're using for the build. And back we go out. And we'll work out this way. And also want to point out, we don't want to, when we are building here now, connect your trap tunnels to your amplifier. And some would even say you want at least 2 tiles back to come in, but as long as it's not connected. And the reason is sometimes smashers especially can aggro and charge a little bit more so than they would if it wasn't connected.
Whoa, sorry.
Just something to take consideration. But anyway, this would be the build that you'll use for this direction. And then once everything's tiered up, you just go ahead and seal it down. Make sure your block off is secure. All of this here would be tier 3. All right. That gets sealed down.
Yeah, not possible.
So that would be your build for the west direction when it comes to an attack on your drop amp here, or in our case, your Charlie amp. Now, with those 3 traps that we just mentioned, and those 3 alone, starting out here on our floor, we're going to go back to back to back, all the way through with the wooden floor spike. Be reminded, if you only have the material for a couple of them, Theoretically, you can skip this tile and start the process over here again because you get a full tile of snare, plus 1, 2, and another half of slowing effect with this trap. So just something to think about. But if you're going to go back to back to back like this, if you're going to use gas, for instance, I would recommend you keep it going. And then you'll have 1, 2, and a half in as they exit. All right, so something to think about on that. And then right above these, we're going to go gas traps straight down. And same thing out here. This side will be a little lighter than the other, just based on how the build is, but you'll be good to go. And then you just want to finish everything off with your wall darts. On all your walls here. You have a wall, drop the trap. All right. And then outside here, believe it or not, you can add an additional dart if they were to work through, and over here, believe it or not. If you need a little extra heat, 1, 2, and 3 across. 1, 2, 3, and across. Some people try to say 4 these days. I don't see enough consistency with that, so I'm still going to stay on point with 3 for you. And then these would go out here to protect you. And of course, you have your darts here where they're trying to attack the amplifier. All right. So that is all in place. And then same thing on this side now. Get your darts going. Gas trap will not shoot through the edited pyramid or reverse 45, but the darts will, and a zapper, believe it or not, will once you get your zapper going. But it's very important that I make this relatable to all, and the best way to do that is to use these 3 traps that you earn through your natural progression of the game. Everybody will receive these 3 traps, and it's all you need. All right. And then that would be our build. And then, of course, if you want to add a little extra, we can add extra out here if you wish. It's really a playstyle choice or how much material you have. But believe it or not, it could benefit you. And try to sneak one here. Right. Could benefit you just to have a little extra potentially here. Unfortunately, out here now, you could try to get it in there if they let you. Sometimes you could, like here, see it. But then you're blocking off, and you don't want to do that. All right. But we can get it out here, though, at least. Just try to work out to the Storm Shield a bit to get you some extra. And I say, if you have it, use it. What are you saving it for? No reason to save. Remember, once you break this down, it all comes back to you anyway. So it's, in a way, it's a temporary storage for yourself. Right. But anyway, this would be, once you have everything upgraded, the trapping portion. Again, for the west attack, to the drop or Charlie amp. All right, now let's go ahead and work our way over to your other build as soon as I get this upgraded.
Not possible.
As a reminder, around the amplifier, we are building in stone here. I actually have an episode in the series. And by the way, if you are just joining me for this tutorial series, I have all episodes available in a playlist right here on my YouTube page. And that link is in the description below for you. And we will go step by step through every quest, mission, everything when it comes to Save the World for you to help you with your journey. So this will get it done. Just one more time, just cruise on through. Make sure everything is right as rain. And you would be mindful over here. It's going to be a little lighter as we mentioned.
Nope.
But you have additional out here to go. And I would tell you early on, base placement would go here. But you can also place your base placement on one of these tiles here. For instance, I'd probably go middle center over the block off right here. That way, when you place your base, it spreads over both of your trap tunnels here. And then it will connect across and down because you've prepared yourself for it. And I like to, tier on the stone so it's easy to see off of your metal. All right. Let's go ahead and upgrade this. Now, let's go ahead and work on our south attack. Up and around. Now, one thing you can do, let's break this down for a second. Typically, anything that's in the direct pathing of the husks, I recommend that you just break it down. Believe it or not, can cause a bit of aggro. But for instance, down here, if you want,
What to
right?
build?
And actually, you could do a pyramid piece here, edited to the southeast. So if you're looking at your amplifier, let's walk it up. And just directly down here to the south as you drop. Right here. And then you have your pyramid facing this way. I actually like to have the wall as well. Then just tier this all up. You have yourself some nice block off right here. And actually, you can go here as well. Now, again, you can't upgrade that, so I'd keep it to this point, and I think you'd be fine. Wouldn't worry about the outside edge right now.
Whoa,
And then you'd have a pyramid on the top of it. And then this would take care of a block-off section for you down in here. And what we're going to do actually is we're going to wrap.
yeah, not
And we'll go with the stone now this time, because why not? Okay. And we're going to wrap darts all the way around this area right here.
nope.
Okay. That should protect you, and you should not have any issues with too many enemies trying to work up this way.
Whoa, sorry.
So that should all be taken care of for you. And then up top here, once we get it all tiered up, we'll put another pyramid piece on top of this build.
Possible.
All right, so that will handle your block off right, over here to that northwest side. And I would tell you to get the darts here in case you get, for some reason, some flingers or lobbers trying to get cute and stand down here and throw at you. You'll have them 1, 2, and the 3 out and all the way around here. All right. It will protect you. So, again, don't cut the corner. Make sure you get it in place.
Whoa,
All right.
sorry.
Now, let's jump up this way. And I have removed the other structure that we had here previously. Because, again, we will not be getting an attack from this direction in any longer once you place the base, as we mentioned. And down here in this field area, again, if you're a little light, feel free to use your stone around the terrain. Just like this here. In here, though, I would come back and do a little block-off section here. Just like we're showing you here. And as that's working, we'll go back and grab us some more metal for a moment. Or feel free to use the same level stone or wood like we mentioned. Completely up to you. My recommendation is always to utilize metal when possible. But let's be realistic. There are times when you will not have enough to cover it all. But I do tell you early on, start with the wood and then work your way up. Give yourself some grace, if you will. You just need a little time. Early on in your journey. It's okay. And then this here would have a pyramid, and your edits for a moment so we can upgrade. And then, believe it or not, I'm just going to go with a couple walls here because we're going to put these walls up here. We'll get back to it. And this is all good. And then basically they're going to try to work up here. And they are going to come up down through here right now because you cannot take care of that. And then over here, we got another little area where we can sneak another dart here. All right? Put your darts here.
Yeah, not possible.
Darts would wrap all the way around the walls at this point. And then we'll work everything else tier 3. And don't forget about this right here, because again, the enemies can aggro on that. Always like to do a final pass through when you are finished with your build to ensure you're good to go. Natural terrain here. I just like it for smooth transition. It's not really going to be too necessary here. We're not going to be putting any, thing on it. But we can throw a trap on it and slow them down a little bit. So I probably will. And then they work out here. All right. And then like I've shown you before, we'll have that little finisher I like to run. Just like this. This all wraps around here. Down to here. This goes here. This is here. This would be a ceiling, ceiling, and ceiling. And if you want another trap, I'd have one here in case you get anything working from that. I'd work around through here.
Let's see.
Here. Here, here, here. Up here. And then you just work them through here. And you can just seal all of this down. Just like we're doing. And then again, everything will be at your tier 3. All right, seal this down. Pyramid, pyramid, wall to block, wall to block. And at this point, you would no longer need this dart. Here. Go back and get that loot in your pocket.
Yeah, not possible.
Okay. Let that all heal. Grab some more metal. It's kind of important to me to do it unedited for you to show you kind of, what it actually does take the time, right? Put into it. All right, so all this is good. And then you have to determine where you'd want your base at with this build. If you wanted to run the base now, what would be a good location for you? I actually, believe it or not, this is a nice little spot right here on the ground. You place it here, spread out and around if you wanted. Now, if you want to here, I do want to point this out. Okay. Behind the two walls, once again, if you want to block those off for a little bit more security, you could, theoretically. Not be a problem. Right? Behind this section here, for instance. Right? You could go with a block off. Facing to the southwest. Is it necessary? Once again, probably not. But it would make it more secure for you. Out here, doesn't matter. Right? They can't get up here, really. Well, they could theoretically. They could. Probably go here and add this one. They could probably get a little cute there. And same kind of thing. You just edit it toward the southeast this time now. And edit it. Just secures it up a little bit. Makes it more sound.
Nope.
And then we'll get this all upgraded. For you. Or for us. And again, I like the base right there. It would spread and wrap throughout. Or you could, if you wanted to be, you were having some issues with your base, you could always put it on top of the block off. Just don't put it on top, again, of your main walls up here. Keep it at tier 2 so you know where the placement's at. Okay. And then this, after we get it all upgraded, we'll just seal it down. Reminder, southwest, floor, and pyramid face the same direction. And this is our extra. You'd be surprised if you put just a little extra when it comes to material, builds, effort, how much more successful, again, you can be in the game. When you don't cut those corners. You just invest a little bit more when it comes to material or resource or whatever. I try to get in there and get it if we can.
Yeah, not possible.
Sometimes you can get there, sometimes you can't. All right, anyway, we're good to go. Now, on the way up here with darts, we can go darts here. This would be more for a blaster or a taker, potentially, that would try, or excuse me, blaster, taker, a smasher, you know, something more so than a regular husks, you know, to hit those, to trigger it. This would be good. I'd go here and here to just seal this all down. And pretty much don't think you can't get up. You could try to get a dart through the backside. They're not going to let you, though, initially. All right, so darts right there. But anyway, let's go and start with our floor. And every tile, once again, I would just go these wooden floor spikes. Low level, not a big deal. It allows it so that all other traps will work better off of their reloads and just in general. All right, it gives them more time. And then there you have that. And then, of course, as they come out, if you want a little extra juice on it, right here, and then they're going to try to attack the box right here. So what I'll do is I'll put a dart here and here on the build, sometimes over here too, just to be safe. Okay, dart would be here, dart would be here.
Nope.
Little extra, just to make sure. If you want it. Is it necessary? Probably not. But anyway, let's just make sure this is all tier 3 to get. We can get there. And then you'd have a dart here. And a dart back here. And then basically we're just lining darts around. Anywhere where you have a wall. And again, I cannot control how much you farm and save the world. So I would say try it out with what you do have. And then if you want to get here, remember, we build for all 10 defenses. I'm not just building for this defense. I want to remind you of that if you're just joining me. This is so you never have to come back here again and touch it. And you just ride at the end with your defenses. And then you got your gas. Nothing above us here. I'll wait till they get on the one tile. Same thing here. Allow them to come up. And gas would be right here. All right. And then that would be the build and the trapping process for the attack from the south direction to your drop or Charlie amplifier, and then just in general for recap. Drop amp will be placed. You will no longer receive attacks from the west when it comes to your dip amplifier or the alpha. You will no longer receive your attacks from the south direction when it comes to your west side amplifier. So feel free to go ahead and remove that if you don't want it there any longer. Again, I just left it. If I was running the storm shields, you can either place where we're showing you up here, right? Your base on your tunnels. But my recommendation, honestly, when you're running storm shields, is just right here on top of your base or on the amplifier. And then again, for the drop, you'll have your attacks from the west and the south. So let's go ahead and activate this and show you how the defense will go. So storm shield. Expand the shield. As a reminder, my recommendation is pretty simple when it comes to storm shield defenses throughout your entire storyline journey. If you can't solo it, I would not complete it because the game is telling you for one reason or another that maybe you should pump the brakes and go back and work on the building and trapping aspect of your game, right? Nothing wrong with that. Be willing to fail in order to succeed in the game. All right, so let's go ahead and expand on our own solo.
Here we go. Shield power increasing.
First attack will be from the east.
Prepare for an attack from the east.
Again, base will go here. And one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be standing on your amplifier. And based on where you were staying in general can affect how the build is working for you. All right. So what you could do, and because we have it now unlocked at level 70 when it comes to your home base level now, aka count level, have the slow field now. In my opinion, the absolute best gadget in all of Save the World, hands down, and one of the most dominating weapons in the game. And all you need to do is come through this slow field at the beginning of your trap tunnel, right here. And then you go back, you make sure your base is down, and you farm, and you get back all that material that you just spent. You don't even need to look at it when it comes to this series. It's completely AFK. No shots with handheld weapons, once again. No defenders. No ability use. Just throw your base on your amplifier. Follow the builds exactly with just those 3 basic traps. And once again, as a reminder for you, it was a common gray wooden floor spikes and an uncommon wall darts and gas traps. All 3 up to level 10, no more. For all 10 of the defenses when it comes to Stonewood here. So it's relatable, and to prove to you that you do not need overpowered items in this game to be successful. Where instead, it truly is about technique. So I do try to promote, put the weapons down, save the durability, your ammunition, the effort, and get back to work now, because after this defense, we have many more to go. And what I like to do is I like to farm during. Remember, your consumables don't go with you, but the herbs, the flowers, all the other material that you are farming will go with you in your journey. And all this because we started it during the actual run. Right? We're farming as it's active. This will all regenerate for you next time you're in. All right, so now we'll go to that Bravo amp to the west. And again, either here or over here.
Whoa, sorry.
And then we're going to go farm. When I talk about consumables now, right, that's this area right here. Right? Means your coconuts, your slurp, your corn, and your mushrooms will not go with you. I do want to point out here, since the update looks like coconuts are more readily available so far. I want to double check that as we keep searching here a bit. Before, I didn't recommend too often that you had, again, with the loadout, right? I love having the Crossbones Barrett in my loadout for the extra damage. Reminder, you have to have him in the loadout for that damage in case you're doing a limited time mode like Frost Knight, Survive the Horde, you're sharing coconuts, right? Things of that nature. There's other, situations, but nonetheless. So I do like that there. It would be one of my top recommended heroes with use of Epic Flux if we weren't in the current season for him, so keep that in mind. Then we have Breakbeat Wildcat with the Battle Beat, so that as our traps are eliminating, we receive an increase to our damage and the melee attack speed, which is important. And then we have the passive healing and, damage based on eliminations or structures that are affected by base. As we place the base, so we can get our recycling perk, you need 2 constructors in order to receive recycling.
We have a break in the action.
Okay. Got the extra wall strength of the base cowl. Remember, base cowl for Storm Shield Defenses. Any mission that's at or above your current power levels, my recommendation there on that. Now we'll go over to the dip amp or alpha. We have a south attack here. That was an elimination wave, by the way.
Not possible.
And all you have to do is pick up that Outlander or just in general with any hero and just farm. Don't be in a rush while you're going through the storyline of the game. It's your tutorial. It's your chance to work. Put the effort, the work, the farming in early so that when you get to Twine Peaks at the end, you can save yourself the hassle. Make it so that when you can come in here by utilizing, your storage and or that northwest area over here against this wall. Remember, I have spoke about this before, right? If you have extra building material, you want to save storage, put it all along this area right here to the northwest and just build it all the way up and just keep stacking it and upgrading it. And then open your storage up, right? But put that work in early. Remember, when you hit play now, it doesn't always mean it has to be something involved with your active quest line. I do want to point that out, right? And then again, if you have that slow field to make it even better, you can utilize it. Just come on out and throw it down. Also have an area here, and down in this area, which I was able to show you, but didn't put the traps here, but I'd want you to go ahead now and put the traps over here. The trap over here to go across. You won't even need it, though, honestly. But we'll still do it to show you. And as a reminder, you'll be able to break this down in the future as your traps improve, receive a return amount of resource for your investment, right? When you break those traps down, it goes back into your inventory. Then you start fresh again with upgraded traps. Maybe once we start getting into your endurance in the future.
Nope.
This is what's known as set and forget, my friends. You don't even have to worry about it. And you're truly testing your trapping and building skill set here. You're learning about, building around the natural path of the husks, about block offs, about synergy with the wooden floor spike and how it's more effective for you, or your other traps become more effective, like that dart and that gas trap, and it helps on their reloads. And, you really are investing that time early so that when you get to the end game, you can be a leader instead of a follower, or you can be a builder instead of a run and gunner, right? Which are a dime a dozen these days. There's very few trappers and builders left in Save the World now these days. We always try to promote that. Whether we be live on stream or whatever it might be. Remember, base would be here or over here. And just so we're clear too, you can always test it. And remember what I told you, right? Start your wooden floor spike for a full tile. Skip, and go again. Skip, go again. So you can save this and these two here, which is 2, 4, 6 into the 8 when you talk about tiles and material. If you're light, if you understand the mechanic and why that truly is. This trap right here truly is, in my opinion, the absolute best trap in all of Save the World. It's not for the damage. It's for the mechanic of it all and how much better all of your other traps become with it. All right, and out we go. And a reminder, you can go ahead and grab all this resource back too, because you're not going to get attacked over here anymore. But I will point out, we're going to go back to work because we have future storm shows to do and other quest things to do. So let's get back after it with our farming. And we are now in our, like the loadout says, our Rock and Rift, which is going to help that melee attack speed. Please take advantage of farming here while you are waiting. Don't stand around. Don't waste resource. Add it to your inventory instead.
We have a break in the action.
Remember, in between the waves too, I have not spoke about this quite yet, but in between your waves now.
For an attack from the east.
All right, now just shoot out here for a minute. You can go back into the spawn area where it was at and collect the loot that might be on the ground for you. So we'll work on down. Just see, was there any loot, out here that you can pick up?
Sorry.
And all of these builds are available in the playlist for you if you want to go back and take a look at those. I actually do have, if you are watching this now and you are finishing up your Storm Shield defenses a little faster than what I am, covering here in the series, I do have a full step-by-step how to build, trap, and defend your AFK endurance here in Stonewood. Also have provided you step-by-step how to build, trap, and operate a material grinder in Save the World. So those are available for you as well, if you are interested.
Personal.
So, and then we're just finishing our last defense from the east again. So we'll make sure to put our base down on our amplifier. And then back we go again for the farm. I don't know about you, friends, but I could definitely use some planks or some ores, some powders from the stones, or maybe some herbs or flowers, right? All ammunition, resin.
Not possible. Whoa, sorry.
Corn. Now the corn, the slurp juice, the mushrooms, the coconuts. Once again, let's double check the coconuts too, by the way. Yeah, see, that's the one thing about when you're running your storm shields or endurance. It is difficult to obtain coconuts. So no, I don't typically, when you're running the storm shield or endurance, recommend the crossbones to be in the loadout, but because we are new to the game, right? Or this is a noob account. And because I recommend that here, there's nothing wrong with having him, but there are other options for you if you were doing something different. We're just waiting. We're still looking for additional heroes, items in the game. See this material out here
Whoa, sorry.
that we could leave behind. Now, sometimes the game will disappear traps on you. I do need to point that out. So if you don't have, you come in, sometimes your traps are missing. It's just one of the parts of the game that you have to deal with. But they can disappear on you. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen
Yeah, not
at times.
possible. Whoa, hey now.
Okay, back into the rock and riff with that pickaxe swinging fast. Of course, we got extra damage coming in.
You did it!
So let's go ahead now. Upon the completion of this Storm Shield Defense. And let us see what our rewards will be. All right, so we have level 5 loot, some mini reward llamas, XP amounts. Let's see what else we got here. Hold the door, one of our side challenges. We will earn our X-ray tickets and V-Bucks if you're a founder, or just X-ray tickets if you are not.
Well done, Commander. Nice work to you, too. We're closer to finding Pop, but every minute counts. Hopefully Lars finds something soon.
And then we have our rare wall darts. And then once again, our X-ray tickets and our V-Bucks.